So if I understand what you said, you're suggesting that if I get a second dose within a month of my first dose, then the efficacy is about 70%. If, however, there is a gap of 2.5 or 3 months between the first and the second dose, then the efficacy is 90%. Is that what you're trying to suggest? Because in the results that we read in Lancet and elsewhere, it said that the AstraZeneca vaccine had an efficacy of 70%. So why this confusion between the results that came out earlier and the results that you are now claiming at this moment?
Well, I'm only echoing what the CEO of AstraZeneca has said, and it's come out from Oxford and AstraZeneca from the trials, because one arm, which did it with 1 month apart, was 60% effective to 70% effective, as you mentioned. And there was another few thousand group of patients where they gave a gap between dose 1 and dose 2. And that's where they found 90%. So, the regulator is going to recommend 1 month to 3 months as a gap. And then it will be depending on the government and urgency and personal choice of how people want to go about vaccinating themselves. But logic would suggest you wait 2.5 months at least between dose 1 and 2, because all vaccines, if you look at other vaccines as well, not just COVID-19 vaccines, the longer gap you keep between doses, the better the efficacy results that are found, because you're not loading the system again so fast, and you don't have cross neutralizing antibodies and so many other factors which I won't go into right now, which could affect the efficacy of the vaccine if you take it very closely together.
So what happens between dose 1 and dose 2? So let's assume somebody gets the first dose over the next few weeks, and then he needs to wait for 3 months for the second dose. Will he have any immunity at all? How many days does it take for immunity to start building? How strong is the immunity if you only have 1 dose and you haven't had your second dose yet?
So we found an excellent response below the age of 50 with 1 dose. And, different age groups, different people with different levels of immunity will respond differently. But we can say after a month, even with 1 dose, there's excellent protection, more than even what you find from a COVID recovered patient. And when I say this, I'm talking about 70% of the people were pretty much fully protected with 1 dose. But the second dose is necessary for the long-term immunity